Doug, you have covered many of these past elections for France 24. What are the main things to watch for today?
Well, first of all, you're going to have to exercise some patience. Americans love to get their results like a video game right away, projections, and within minutes. That's probably not going to happen because of that giant early vote, almost 100 million early votes. They take time to count. Only 8 states, Jeannie, are actually going to have almost 100% of their results in by noon on Wednesday. That is the day after the election. So we will have to probably exercise patience. But look, what am I going to look for? You start with the East Coast of the U.S. The mother of all battlegrounds is Florida. Its polls will close at about 7 p.m. Eastern time. Florida and North Carolina also another key battleground that could flip for the Democrats this year. It will be an early indication of sort of how the winds are blowing in this race. Florida is seen as very critical for Donald Trump. If Biden were to lose it, he would still have many paths to victory. But if he were to lose both Florida and North Carolina early on, and both of those states are states that tend to, officials say, count their results on election night itself. So they're pretty fast counting states. We'd start to have to turn our attention to Arizona out in the Southwest and the blue wall states of Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, whose vote counting is likely to take a lot longer in order for Biden to have clearer paths to victory. So those are the early things. Other groups, Jeannie, I'm going to be looking for, obviously, the Latino vote, which the Biden campaign has really been trying to get out, the black vote in big cities, especially in battleground states such as Pennsylvania and Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and also the suburban vote. Will the suburbs strike back? Can Joe Biden get enough of the middle-class suburban vote to undercut Trump's very solid support among white, non-college degree voters, blue-collar white voters that really gave Trump the victory in 2016? All things I'll be watching for. And obviously, we have to watch whether the election is close enough, as it's probably likely to be, to bring in a lot of those lawyers to set up the legal battles.
Right. Well, that was going to be my next question. There's already something like 300 lawsuits that have been filed over the election already in dozens of states. Is it a certitude at this point? Are we sure that we could be heading into not just a long, but a contested vote count?
A certitude, Jeannie? Not at all. No, there is a likelihood, perhaps, that we could have a result on Tuesday night. It would be more likely if it were sort of a landslide in Joe Biden's favor, that we'd have maybe an indication of that as the night progresses. But if it's not a landslide for Biden, if it's not a clear victory for Trump, we could have more of a mess and more of a muddle. You're right. There have been hundreds of lawsuits. And really what they have been dominated by is, while both sides are deploying lawyers to all of the key states ready to go to court to do battle on the morning after, you've had a lot of Republican, and I have to underline Republican, objectively, factually, efforts to slow down or stop counting of early ballots, of mail-in ballots, to make sure that as few of those ballots are able to be counted before election night is over November 3rd. Donald Trump has said he thinks election should end on November 3rd. That's not how American elections work. Elections are not over until states have certified the results. That can, and it has in the past, sometimes taken days, in some cases weeks, as in 2000. So keep your eye on that. I will note that a federal judge, this was perhaps an early victory for those who were in favor of all votes being counted, a federal judge threw out a Republican petition that would have blocked 127,000 votes in Harris County, Texas, from being counted because they were cast at drive-in sites, drive-through sites. They were tents set up amid the coronavirus pandemic to ensure a safer and voting environment for the voters. The judge basically said in that case that those ballots would be counted on Election Day. However, most of those voting sites will be closed. This is going to come down to court battles, Jeannie, between those who want to ensure fewer votes counted versus those who want to ensure that every vote is counted.
Doug, there is a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety amongst many Americans about this election. What is your biggest fear surrounding the election?
Shenanigans, attempts to basically color this vote, or perhaps one of the other candidates. And clearly it would be much more likely to be Donald Trump declaring a premature victory. We've already had the big tech giants, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all saying that they will warn voters with prominent labels on their sites if one of the other candidate declares what they say is premature victory. That is a victory that has not been certified, verified by state officials yet, or any candidate who goes online with out at least 2 major news outlets having certified and verified results of these elections, saying that they have won, trying to basically declare this election over before it's over. So that's a big fear. Keep your eye on that, and keep your eye on shenanigans at limited voting sites, perhaps, that could prevent people from voting or intimidate people when they try to vote.
Doug, thanks for that. Doug Herbert will be keeping a very close eye on that election as it develops in the United States. Doug, thanks so much.